Lila, kaj? To bom čez glavo.
To imaš do korenja, imaš po moje do konca.
Ja, samo že tako, mislim, da smo se glavo.
Kofri imajo edino korenje, imajo zelene sploh nimajo.
Kaj?
Da edino korenje imajo.
Da je raztrga. Kaj je?
Koruna, pračur. Kaj je to?
Ja.
Lisico. Kjer imam sredno, visoko, kjer?
Sredno ponovadi. Mislim, prejšnjič je bilo sredno.
To pa dam zdaj visoko. Imam tekst na tiše. Veš, kad vidim teksta.
Tonski mojster.
Hare Krišna. Moja tekst bližja, včeraj sem prvi tekst videl, da sem pel. Grmi. Hare Krišna. Hare Krišna.
S tem pa ne pogrešni.
Kako?
S tem pa se ne pogrešni.
Da. Tako se greš kar v vse že. Ja, s polivinici tudi prinesel v redu. Dajmo še pesmerico, hvala. Tako, že vidi, fuj slabo, veš, že z očali.
Sem pa tudi dal.
Kaj? Ja, tudi. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama. To byla playlist. To je isto kod Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krišna.
Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, du-du-du.
Hvala tebi.
Hare Krišna,
Hare Krišna.
Treba početi sam ponoviti.
Hvala Krišna. Samo za ta fino izrihta. Hare Krišna, Hare Krišna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Nas je bo zdaj pričital.
Kar brez mikrofona, kar ste že
Vse si glas.
Prevod pesmi, ki jo bomo pel. Kam je odšla osebnost, kakršen je bil Srinivasa Acharya? Prinesel je zaklad božanske ljubezni in je bil poln sočutja in milosti. Kje sta moja Svarup Damodar in Rupa Gosvami? Kje je Sanatana? Kje je Raghunadas, odrešitelj padlih duš? Kje sta moja Raghunath Bhata in Gopala Bhata in kje je Krishnadas Kaviraja? Kam je nenadoma odšel gospod Gauranga, veliki plesalec? Z glavo bom udaril v kamen, stopil bom v ogenj. Le kje bom našel gospoda Gaurango, ocean vseh čudovitih lastnosti? Ker se ne more družiti z gospodom Gaurango in vsemi baktami, s katerimi je gospod uprizoril svoje zabave, lahko Narota Madasa le joče.
Anilo premadana karuna prachu anilo premadana karuna prachu anilo premadana karuna prachu anilo Raghunatha Patita Pahava Katarasa Raghunatha Patita Pahava Kahamora Matayudha
Krishna
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lakšenkrat prevod.
Še enkrat prevod. Kam je odšla osebnost, kakršen je bil Srinivasacharya? Prenesel je zaklad božanske ljubezni in je bil poln sočutja in milosti. Kje sta moja Sarup Damadara in Rupa Gosvami? Kje je Sanatana? Kje je Raghunandasa, odrešitelj padlih duš? Kje sta moja Raghunandbata in Gopala Bata in kje je Krišnadas Kaviraja? Kam je nenadoma odšel gospod Gauranga, veliki plesalec? Z glavo bom udaril ob kamen, stopil bom v ogenj. Le kje bom našel gospoda Gaurango, ocean vseh čudovitih lastnosti? Ker se ne more družiti z gospodom Gaurango in vsemi baktami, s katerimi je gospod uprizoril svoje zabave, lahko Narotam Dasa le joče. Como stoje?
Ne, to tako.
Mislim, da to ne. Samsara bhava nalalita loka tranaya karunya gana ganatvam. Samsara bhava nalalita loka tranaya karunya ganatvam. Prapasya kalyana gunadhavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanadavindam. Vande Guru Shri Charanadavindam. Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Vaditra Madhyan Manasura Sena. Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Vaditra Madhyan Manasura Sena. Ramachakram Pashrutaranga Pajo Vande Guru Shri Charanadavindam. Ramachakram Pashrutaranga Pajo Vande Guru Shri Charanadavindam. Shri Vigrahara Dhananityananda Shri Indaratan Mandira Marjanado. Shri Vigrahara
तृप्तिं भजता सदेवा वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् माधुर्यलीला गुणरूपनां श्रीराधिका माधवयोर पारा माधुर्यलीला गुणरूपनां स्वाधनलोलुपस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणनारविन्दम् प्रतीक्षणा स्वाधनलोलुपस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणनारविन्दम् प्रतीक्षणा स्वाधनलोलुपस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणनारविन्दम् निकुञ्जयो नो रात्केली सिद्ध्यै या लिबेर्युक्तिरपेक्षणीया तत्राचिदक्ष्यात्तिवल्लभस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणनारविन्दम् साक्षादधीतेन समस्तशास्त्रे उक्तस्तथा भाव्यत एव साधी किन्तु प्रभोर्या प्रिया एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणनारविन्दम् किन्तु प्रभोर्या प्रिया एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणनारविन्दम् यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादा नगति कुतोऽपि यस्य प्रसादा भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादा नगति कुतोऽपि ध्यायन्तु वंस्तस्याय शास्त्रीसान्ध्यां वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणनारविन्दम् 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 Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasadya Deshatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasatyadesha Tarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasatyadesha Tarine Prabhupada Jaya Jaya 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 Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It's okay. Okay. So we have not so much time, so there was chanting going on, so can only thank anybody coming on this exceptional day where we celebrate the departure of our founder Acharya A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We spoke already a whole morning about that, how none of us would sit today here. There would be no place, even in Ljubljana, to come and hear about Krishna if there would be no Srila Prabhupada. That's generally understood. Therefore, when devotees try to define his personality, it was a big problem. They had no idea. They knew only Swamiji. Swamiji was the first thing. And as we know, Krishna consciousness started on extremely personal terms. You know, there were many other Indians or gurus coming to America. So hippies liked that. It was very attractive. There was another guru coming. Oh, let's check him out. So, but meeting Srila Prabhupada was something very different. Prabhupada was not appearing as a mystified figure surrounded by silence, you know, in a very mystified charisma, you know, long beard. You must have a long beard, otherwise you are not considered to be a wise man. So there were, you know, Indians coming like this. Indians are very clever. They understand very quickly that Western people have no brain to understand spiritual life, but they have money. So, you know, so then they came. Indians are very adaptable, sorry, I mean, but I don't mean it even negatively, and very quickly to adapt and derive some benefit from that. Therefore they are everywhere, you know. Everywhere you go on this planet you find Indians. They were in Africa, everywhere. Partially also given by the colonial politics of the British, who also tried to be everywhere. But the British are not anymore everywhere. The Indians are everywhere, yes. So, and now, thanks to Srila Prabhupada, something most amazing happened on this planet Earth. We can really speak globally. Now all the Indians, many, including the Westerners, they are all chanting Hare Krishna and they find themselves being in Krishna consciousness. Nobody before Prabhupada did that. Our Guru Parampara is full of amazing personalities. But mostly they were appearing in India, the treasure house of spiritual life. It was called Bharatavarsha. It was originally the capital of the whole planet Earth. India. Thanks to the invading forces, Muslims, Indians, it doesn't appear anymore like that. But whatever wisdom, knowledge about spiritual life was originated from India. Anything what we find in the West being even presented in the name of religion is reflecting to some degree in a perverted way Indian culture. even linguistically spoken, until today, when you know something about languages, you find the same words surfacing which don't belong to the local language, really. I know from Czech, that's where I'm born, in Czech. How do you call science in Czech? No. It's called Veda. Hey, I know that word. Veda. Where did this came from? You know, yeah. Even the English word good, commonly used. Are you good? I'm good, you are good. Comes from godly. Yeah. There are many examples of that. Devotional, English word. He's devotional. That word comes from the word deva. Deva means godly person. Yeah. There are many similarities from Sanskrit, derived, which then degenerated into Latin, and from Latin all languages were sprouting. Anyway, this is the detail. So, Srila Prabhupada said, I didn't came to learn anything actually. I came to give you something you forgot. Krishna consciousness is not about learning something new. It's about remembering what we forgot. How else is it possible that a man coming from India can influence so many different kinds of people all over the planet? Prabhupada, when you follow his preaching, constantly circumambulating the planet, he found listeners everywhere. How is it possible? And he was saying, quoting Shastra, I cannot even quote exactly what he said. Some people may get really upset. It sounds almost racistic, But that was the culture, and that was the place Prabhupada came in. And he was firmly relating to the nature of the local people. We know from preaching experience, one of the mistakes you can do when you are preaching, that you ignore the public. You don't even know who you are preaching to. That's actually why the church were collapsing. They lost completely contact to the people. Originally, Christian line, they came from the fishermen, people, simple people. And what did Jesus do? He was preaching the language of the fishermen. Using analogies for simple people to understand. From good tree comes a good fruit. From bad tree comes a bad fruit. Yeah? Anybody can understand that. So actually we don't find any philosophy in the Bible or this, because it was spoken to fishermen. Simple people. But simple doesn't mean primitive. This is a big mistake. We were all educated here that, this is simple. No, actually the most genius things, even in science, they are so simple that nobody could discover it. There is an amazing genius in simplicity. This is what Srila Prabhupada did. He took this vast body of Vedic knowledge, and summarized it for us and presented it that even us, people with absolutely no background, spiritual background, no culture actually, come on, let's be serious. Where's our culture? Some people say, well, I'm a very cultured person. Really? How? British, very cultured. Really? One Irish writer, I'm a little bit fan of him, a very brilliant man. Many, many years, already before Prabhupada, he said, the English culture and the manners, Victorian culture, they are like color. Surface. And any color can be washed away with alcohol. Very simple and very to the point. That's our culture. I come from a very cultured background, yes. My father was a maestro on viola, classical music. I grew up to the sound of Beethoven, Bach and Mozart. Just was the only people. I never had friends. I never played with children. So I grew up only with grown-up people. And you go to the concert. People go to the concert, or they dress nicely, you know. And then they go, you know. Da-da-da-da. You know, very, very cultured. Really. I grew up in a dressing room of these classical musicians. I knew them. Very famous people. You know, I don't remember meeting such a degraded bunch of characters. You know, maybe, I have to say, even construction workers are more cultured sometimes. You know, smoking, drinking, woman hunting, oh, really popular. The whole classical orchestra, it's just everybody had going something like with somebody. The lady on a harp, you know, dung, 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 dung. Well, she had something going on with the first violin, you know. Man, it was all the time like this. So much for Western culture. Where's the culture? What culture? So, you know, what do culture people meet when they meet? Smoke and offer you alcohol. It's very cultured. And the more, you know, then the culture comes out. The more you drink, then all the culture comes out. I mean, come on. And they are definitely decent, pious people amongst us. But you don't see them much. Especially in this age of Kali, the more ruthless you are, the more brutal, with no conscience whatsoever. Oh, you become the leader of the country. Prabhupada gave a very simple example. He said, there's an animal society. Who do you think they will elect? The biggest animal. They go, whoa. He ate so many other animals and he survived. He must be the leader. You know, this is the culture. So Srila Prabhupada very openly, you read first canto Srimad Bhagavatam, written already in India. Whoa, what a revolutionary book. You know, yeah. So he did something so shocking. You know, he presented the highest knowledge, the highest path, spiritual path, the highest available knowledge about God on this planet to the lowest people. You know, hippies. Hippies means, you know, lots of illicit sex life and lots of drugs. Prabhupada said that there will be no illicit sex life and there will be no drugs. Meat eating was not so much problem. You know, many hippies were already vegetarian, macrobiotic, you know, just eating some. Prabhupada said, what is this? What are you eating? Well, Prabhupada, this is corns and seeds and oats. And Prabhupada looked at the oats and he said, they served this even to him later on. Prabhupada, this is, you know, it's purely vegetarian. Prabhupada said, what is this? Prabhupada, this is oats. Prabhupada said, this is for horses, it's not for people. So much for the culture again. So, you know, I personally, I eat oats, okay? I'm all in favor of oats. When you get older, oats are great. You know, I eat one fried pakora, I digest it for 3 days. So, you know, all glories to oats. Anyway, and they asked Prabhupada, can we offer this to Krishna? Prabhupada said, well, if this facilitates your devotional service and you get power from that, why not? Can we offer pizza to Krishna? How do you preach in Italy without pizza, you know? Impossible. You know. Prabhupada said, yes, why not? And then Prabhupada said something, I don't want to get into it, lost, but there is so much to say from Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, potato is the king of vegetable. In India, in Jagannath temple, it's not even allowed to be offered. It's not grown Indian grown thing. Potato is imported. It was not originated from India. So it's not a Vedic vegetable, really. Prabhupada liked that. So it was completely established. And there was other things Prabhupada liked, which I'm not going to elaborate about, because we cannot imitate if we can only follow, okay? Nothing extreme, but I remember when this was known, Prabhupada likes actually bubbly drinks. They somehow or other, while traveling, somebody gave Prabhupada 7-Up, and Prabhupada was going, it's very tasty. Immediately all temples were flooded with pallets of 7-Up. I remember there was 7-Up everywhere, almost on an altar. It was like, whoa. And of course devotees were going, oh, well, great. Fortunately, the story of Prabhupada flying on an airplane on first class, that was rare. Prabhupada was flying a normal passenger class usually. And he was flying all the time. But somewhere, some rich man was just, giving donation, and they first class. I never flew first class, but I got a glimpse of it, what they are doing there. They just serve you alcohol the whole flight, which is normally not on the normal tourist class, on the long flights. So Prabhupada was in an airplane, and the devotees were long flight. So his servants were sitting also on first class. So they were all, everybody was somewhat sleeping. And Prabhupada was always awake. Very rarely Prabhupada was sleeping. He slept so little, So, and then the servants woke up. And he realized, meanwhile, while everybody was sleeping, the stewardess were going around serving little drinks, little bottles. Shh! In between, just a little glass. So the servant woke up and he opened the eyes and said, Prabhupada, this is champagne. And Prabhupada was going, it's very tasty. Fortunately, that story was not very public, otherwise he would have a palace with champagne coming into the temple. So, these are just little details. We cannot copy Prabhupada. We can follow. It's a big difference, an important difference between copy and follow. So, Srila Prabhupada is eternal associate of the Lord. And as we know from Chaitanya Charitamrita and our books, even such amazing devotees, they appear like in disguise, like sometimes like normal people. It's sometimes difficult to find them even, But they are eternal associates of. When the Lord appears, they all come with Him. We know it from Chaitanya Charitamrita, and some of the devotees of Lord Chaitanya are very simple devotees. Not even very learned, not very academically educated, but entirely surrendered to the Lord. Entirely means entirely with the mind, words, and the body. We know that it's not so easy. This actually is the definition of sannyas. Not easy. Sometimes we serve Krishna with the body, but where's the mind? Anybody can watch this flow and think about who knows what. So, so to get this in one line, that's a lifelong challenge. Sometimes we want to serve Krishna and then we think, the mind comes up with something else. Words, I can tell you things, day and night. You think, this is really a devotee. Am I? Watch out for Manidhar. You don't know me. How do you know me? From speaking? That can be very deceiving. So, devotee is transparent. Devotee essentially doesn't have a private life. That's easy to understand in ISKCON. Everybody talks about everybody all the time, isn't it? It's out of question to keep some secret in this movement, Forget it. You think, Prabhu, this is very confidential. 1 hour later, it's on the internet, Oh, this is, yes, I just totally gave up. Sorry. This is especially with the digital means we have. And the bad news, they are traveling faster like the good news. If you want to really get agitated, if you really want to get depressed, go on internet. It's fast. Few clicks and you go, oh no. So therefore sometimes it's good just to switch it off. Things are going on, yes. I don't want to go in detail now, but when I travel around, sometimes I just wrote a little article on my webpage, Krishna consciousness now and here. Devotees always discuss what's happening. Did you know what happened in Mayapur? Yeah, I heard about it. What shall we do about it? Nothing. They have their own problems. What is Mayapur to do with Ljubljana? Come on. We are now and here. Srila Prabhupada didn't like this. When the first ISKCON newsletter came up, Prabhupada said, what is it? Oh, Prabhupada, this is reporting about activities in our centers. Prabhupada said, why? We do everywhere the same. We chant Hare Krišna, distribute our books. At least that was the ISKCON I joined. We go on Hare Nam, it's everywhere the same. What do you want to report? The Major of New York got Bhagavad Gita. Oh, you know how? Devotee came up with the Bhagavad Gita, the Major was standing there and he grabbed the Major going, and there was a photo. That was all. I know these photos, I saw them, Pope gets Bhagavad Gita. You know how that happened? There was a line of people waiting for the audience, and the Pope just stands there. He comes out and he goes, he's blessing, and people just go like on an automatic line. Get the blessing from the Pope. So, didn't took long, and Kirtaraj Prabhu, my God, brother, lined up. He was very good on these things. Another devotee ready with a camera. And Kirtaraj was a big guy, so... And the Pope wanted to bless him, and he took his hand, put the Bhagavad Gita inside, grabbed the Pope around the shoulder, was going, ha ha! And Pope was having Bhagavad Gita. The helpless Pope, he couldn't do anything. So, so this kind of photos, I am not so in favor of that kind of propaganda. I grew up in communistic country, in both countries. I grew up half in communistic, half in capitalistic country. Anyway, it's a long story. So, and that was full of this propaganda. The minister of the country is coming, photos, Sometimes these politicians were so drunk, these communists, they really had to hold them straight up so they don't fall over when they make the photo. We don't have to copy this. So our real propaganda, this is, Prabhupada said, we have our Back to Godhead magazine. He said, this is our newsletter. Every day, news about Krishna. That's the real news. And then we have, of course, our books. That's the real news. And it is news. It is a big news for the conditioned soul. Our books are full of shocking news, So we have enough to read with that. We have enough to discuss about that. And what they do over there, what they do over here, sometimes it's inspiring, sometimes it's not inspiring. So what shall we do about it? Nothing. What you can do about it, if you find something really not inspiring, you don't go there. It's as simple as that. You don't have to associate with this. You don't have to be associated with some fool. Why? I don't want to go in detail now, this gets controversial, but yeah, we have choice. We can go and we can choose our association. Everybody who came here tonight came voluntarily. He was not grabbed on a street and said, let's go to there is Manidhar. Oh, no. Everybody came on his own and he can anytime walk out of the door on his own. It's a voluntary movement. That's a problem sometimes for managers, because people come voluntarily, they seem they can do something and they leave voluntarily again. Oh, how do you manage such a thing? Nobody is really employed, Come is a very simple thing for that. They pay you, performance, payment. No performance, no payment, out. We don't need you here. And if you really make trouble, they have two things, Kamis, to manage. Money and police. Simple. We don't have much money, no. And there's no police, no. There's only Srila Prabhupada. You like him, you are attracted to him, we should help you and we should be able to help you to serve him. That's the essence of management in Hare Krišna movement. This is actually our managerial structure. People ask me after 53 years sometimes, how is this movement managed? It's an international movement, spread all over the planet. How is it managed? Now I have two ways to answer them. I can give them the official version or an honest version. Very often I prefer the honest one. I tell them, I have no idea. But it works somehow or other. I have no idea. He is coming, he is going, suddenly he is coming, and he is doing, he is not doing, he is going. Like, wow. The only permanent personalities in a temple very often is just the deities. They are standing there, okay, who is coming? And people come, and they go, I'm serving here, and then they go, And then there are always few, and this is the real followers of Srila Prabhupada, they are not moving. For me, this is so inspiring when I travel around. You get some overview a little bit, 50 years, of traveling like this, you get some idea, who is staying and who is going. What is changing and what is remaining. I saw so many things changing, This is the new Krishna consciousness. Next time you come and go, where is it? Hey, what happened to the new Krishna consciousness? Yeah, I don't know. He left, and But there are devotees, wherever I go, it's the same face. I have a really bad memory on names, it's embarrassing. But faces I never forget. So when you see the same face emerging again, Hare Krišna, I'm serving Krishna here. The only time I see this face is disappearing is when they die. Otherwise, they are there. Things are changing around the same face. I don't want to get too personal. He's always embarrassed when I mention his name. But I was here in this place. Govinda Lalita Prabhu ki jai. So, I was in this place. These deities were still up there, packaged in dusty boxes. Most devotees didn't even know they are there, much really. This place was an old dirty room, looked to me like, okay, And then somebody got the idea, hey, we have this Panchatattva and a boxes up there, why not put them on the altar? And then the whole thing started. This is by mercy of Panchatattva all this year. And then, I'm not in detail informed about history of Ljubljana temple, but every temple has its history. And Srila Prabhupada really didn't like when some temple, what he called, actually it was a preaching center, it was a small place. He really didn't like when it disappeared. He said, once started, it should always go on. You know. And of course, he was pragmatic. Devotees told him, we are in Canada, preaching, we open a new farm. The problem is, there's nothing growing here. It's just snow, you know. So Prabhupada said, what are you doing there? Close it down. We cannot grow. What kind of farm is this? So that was one of these ideas. So Prabhupada, but this was exceptional. Otherwise, Prabhupada said, once it started, once it's planted, it should never stop. So this is the nature of Krishna consciousness. You know, it's ahituke apratihata. It means it doesn't depend on material circumstances. That's one interpretation Prabhupada gave. Or it doesn't need material circumstances. It needs the blessing of the Guru Parampara. So I really like, I could say so many things, but just to mention one shloka, I just read the shloka from Bhagavad Gita. This is my favorite one. This is so amazing. This is actually Prabhupada life. This is the real Prabhupada. Krishna tells to Arjuna. This is in the 11th chapter. And Krishna tells to Arjuna, therefore, after speaking to him for 10 chapters, Krishna tells Arjuna, therefore, get up and prepare to fight. That was Arjuna's situation. After conquering your enemies, you will enjoy a flourishing kingdom. Well, I was shocked when I read that one. Krishna goes in Bhagavad Gita, explains, I am the enjoyer, you are the servant. And he tells that to Arjuna, enjoy the flourishing kingdom. Does he want Arjuna to become some hedonistic king or what? No. By this time it's completely established. And Arjuna knows perfectly well, I am eternal servant of Krishna. It doesn't matter what kind of position. Fighting, managing kingdom, grihastha, sannyasi, this is all irrelevant. Ultimately, I am the eternal servant of Krishna. That's it. And because there was this absolute trust established, it was very clear, Krishna goes, why don't you enjoy a little bit? Why not? I mean, we are enjoying prasadam. We are enjoying. Actually, you know what? Devotees are very often complaining. Why? Because they don't understand. We are enjoying much more as the kamis. They work so hard to enjoy. What are they enjoying? I just gave in the beginning a brief summary study what they are enjoying. What do you enjoy in Ljubljana? Today is what? Saturday night, huh? Oh, let's go downtown Ljubljana and enjoy. I end up distributing books sometimes on these days, even late at night in front of the disco. And, yeah. My God, I never saw so many miserable people in one place. And they pay for it. They pay for their own misery. The girls are out there, they go, I have to dress. How do you dress? Well, you don't dress as you like. I'm not a girl dresser, but I was grihastha long enough. So, how do you dress? Well, you have to look in a magazine, What is beautiful? It's very relative. Beautiful is, first of all, you have to be so skinny, you look like you are going to die. But it's different from country to country, When I came first time to India, the beauty was defined as being a well-nourished lady. Well-nourished and fertile, that's a real beauty. We were just brahmacharis, but you couldn't avoid to see this. We were just laughing, Just, what is this? Beauty, Very beautiful. So, then it changed. Now it's not like this in India. It changed again. So, what is this? My open appeal to women is, don't be stupidified by that propaganda. Beauty is something completely different. Prabhupada defines beauty comes out in Krishna consciousness. It's a beauty of character, beauty of quality of the man or woman, doesn't matter. This is what is beautiful. And I know in Krishna consciousness some very old, extremely beautiful devotees. When you see it, you go, well, that's beauty. There's dignity. There is chastity. There is, amazing, but natural, not artificial. I go, this is beautiful. And sometimes, it's one of my sannyasi godbrother, that's a sannyasi talk, okay? He said, beauty is basically defined in a right accumulated fat. And when the fat is moving, it's going to move. Then it's becoming ugly. Is that the beauty? How is it possible? Srila Prabhupada was the most beautiful one of us all. The oldest, and he was so beautiful that women fall in love with him. He was in the age of the grandfather. And he had a problem with this. Some young girls were going, Prabhupada, I love you. I want to marry you. I mentioned this before already. Prabhupada was encountering this kind of problems. He was so attractive and so beautiful because that's the nature of the soul. Actually, the only thing which is really beautiful is the soul. People don't know that. They look in somebody's eyes and they go, oh, I love you. Well, who is you? Nobody knows that. Who's you? It's a hypocrisy, you know that? I don't even know you, I tell you I love you. Why do you love? They don't know either. They don't know that. They just feel it. Well, I love my stomach, I'm hungry, I feel it. Whatever you feel, come on. What is this? Even as a Kami, I was very doubtful. I never told any girl, I love you. That's frustrating, They are frustrated. They like to hear that. Nah. I was going, this is cheating. Yeah, I'll have to have sex. Yeah, that's understood. I understood that logic behind the whole thing. But what is this to do with you? So this is the love. It's business. It's just impulses. It's animalistic. Does one dog love the other and when they have sex? Come on. Just look at it. It's one big rape actually going on, you know that? I don't want to go in detail now on this line, but it is what is really beauty, what Prabhupada showed us. The real beauty. When Prabhupada look at you, we're like, oh, that's beautiful. That's real love. Why? It was unconditional. Prabhupada really gave himself to us unconditionally. You gave him money or you praised him, that was not so important. Important was you. One reporter, he asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, why are you traveling all the time? Prabhupada said, just to stop you from traveling. Now the reporter couldn't understand that. But actually what Prabhupada meant is, I want to stop you traveling from one body to the other. I want you to go back home, back to Godhead. It was quite an amazing answer. Even devotees were going, what did he say? I'm traveling to stop you traveling. And then Prabhupada wants us to stop traveling from one body to the other. Because as we are all sitting here, it's going to all change. All of it. Nobody will stay the same. I always enjoy it when these children come to Krishna to the lecture. These actually exceptionally well-behaved children. Usually children can destroy the whole lecture, but this one don't look like that. So, I love this, but I don't see them anymore. I cannot see them as children. This is already a question of few years. And then you have they are like this. Then they are like that. Sometimes they are bigger like the parent, So, so it's cute to look at it because they are so innocent. They are honest. Children can be trickier, but not much. It's childish, They say this is childish. Why? And why people like children? Because they are so, why? It's no sex life. As soon as sex life come up, the glorious puberty, everything becomes compromised. I want to enjoy it. Can I enjoy you? You can enjoy me a little bit. Immediately everything becomes compromised. Therefore children are so cute to look at because there's no sex life. So anyway, this is just the detail. Prabhupada was a big child. Why? There was no sex life. That's what was fascinating about that. People didn't know it. They had no words for it. But they were like, hey. And despite being the world acharya, Prabhupada could look in any way you can imagine. Even his relationship to devotees, to his disciples, were quite different. With Tamal, he was always challenging. So, there's stories I can tell you day and night. Prabhupada called Tamal, he said, so, how many Back to Godhead magazines is your temple distributing? And Tamal said, Prabhupada, it's big. Americans are always like that. When you meet Americans, they go big time. I told one devotee, this is impressive. Americans are always big time. He was American. He told me, you don't know it. They can make a big mess too, Everything is big what comes from America, even the garbage. Garbage is also big. It's American garbage. I grew tired of this. 50 years I'm watching this American garbage coming out. Sorry. I can promise you, any Slovenian citizen is 1,000 times more cultured as the average American. I can assure you that. What comes out of America? Chewing gum, Mickey Mouse, guns, and if you really want to insult somebody, you speak American English. It's just vulgarity is coming out. That's great. Wonderful culture, you know that? First you kill all the red Indians, the rest you drown in whiskey, And then, as I say, we are very liberal. God created man and called, make them equal. I have one, you have one. Eh? That's the American version of neutrality and equality, always in the compound. Come on. Sorry, I'm insulting some American citizens. I hope they are not here. But I have enough of this. And Prabhupada knew that. He said, if you Americans don't become Krishna conscious, you will all go to hell. Very fast. Why did Prabhupada went to America? Of course, because he was strategically thinking, everybody copies America. It's amazing. Everybody hates America, but everybody copies America, really. Because they are very good of transmit sense gratification. People like that. It's American, It's cheap, fast food. That wasn't here before Americans came in. You just park the car and then you keep on driving. This is American way of life. That's so much for the culture. But, it's... so Prabhupada knew it. If these people become Krishna conscious, other people will also copy this. He proudly brought his American disciples to India. He called them my white elephants. White elephants are rare. When they come, everybody comes looking. You cannot imagine what happened when I came the first time, 1978, to India. This was not the India today. Vrindavan was a very quiet, empty place. Nobody was there. Krishna Balaram temple got just established. Prabhupada Samadhi was not ready yet. It was just a structure. Prabhupada left the body 1 year before. And I came out of the bus with other brahmacharis. The first Vrindavan resident saw me. He immediately fell in the dust. Immediately make a dandavat. The demigods are coming. White Vaishnavas. They never saw anything like this before. They knew white people exist, but not like this. And then they go and chant on a street and dance. Wow, people were shocked. This is we are like demigods. Well, we knew what kind of demigods we are. You know, it was embarrassing, you know. People constantly just taking dust. You know. And when you made like this, they came to you and they took your hand and they turn it around and they look at the watch. And they were going, how much? How much? American watch. Ah. I mean, many people couldn't even read. You couldn't distribute books because they were illiterate. You gave them Bhagavad Gita, they were going, oh, Bhagavad Gita. And they gave it back to you because they couldn't read. There was another India. It was so quiet, Yamuna, it was just the Yamuna floating, you know, white sand where Lord Balaram used to walk, you know, and it was so, you could sit the whole day on Yamuna just chanting. It was, you know, peaceful. Now you cannot do that. It's all asphalt and one car after another and, you know, and business, you know, shops and many temples which were never there before. When I came, it was just peacocks, you know, just wow, wow, all the time. That was Vrindavan. So Prabhupada changed all this. Even in India, Prabhupada made a total revolution. The impact of Prabhupada's preaching in India with the white elephants, and you can read it in the testimonies of my godbrothers. I wasn't there with him, first time he came, but when he came, just by coming with these white devotees, it was just hilarious. It was all over the newspapers. It was a big pandals. Thousands of people came just to see Prabhupada and his white elephants. You know, yeah. It was amazing what Prabhupada has done. People who never chanted Hare Krišna, people who never even knew this culture, they end up preaching to the Indians. Prabhupada was very proud of it. He was like, that's my message to the Indians. Rascals. I preached here already before I left for the West. Nobody wants to start. Prabhupada already started ISKCON before he left India. It was called League of Devotees. And he initiated one disciple already. Yeah. So one disciple initiated already before he was leaving. But that was it. Nobody cooperated. So Prabhupada was quite disgusted. He said, this is the land of Krishna. I am just trying to preach, the message of Krishna. Why? So he went to the West. And he started the whole thing with hippies. Oh, why has Krishna long hair? Hippies, all hippies have long hair. Prabhupada said, because he's God. He likes long hair. But he is not a hippie. That was the first preaching he did. So, so things like that, Prabhupada had to, it's just the more you meditate about what Prabhupada has achieved, it's unparalleled. It was never done before. Just imagine, even when we go out and preach, we already have some ground there, There's some temples, there's some devotees, there's books, many books being distributed. People are aware, Hare Krišna exists. When Prabhupada started to preach, nobody knew one thing. Nothing. So can you imagine enter such an environment? And what could Prabhupada do? They didn't even know. When Prabhupada said, shocking the hippies, you cannot make spiritual progress without a guru, a spiritual master. They were like, oh, really? Because it was very popular amongst the hippies. You meditate, and then the light comes. Bing! This is what Mayavadis are preaching. They go, you don't need any other guru. You are God. Just discover how you are God, That was still there. And Prabhupada blew this bomb. You need a guru. And then they really did that. They went to him saying, Prabhupada, Swamiji, you are so nice. Can you tell us where do we find a guru? Can you imagine how covered you are? Prabhupada didn't say anything. He cried. He started to cry and he said, my Guru Maharaj saved me. Then finally some brilliant hippie, kicked by the super soul, asked, well, maybe Prabhupada, you are our Guru. And Prabhupada said, if you sing so. He didn't make any advertisement. So it was established, Prabhupada is our Guru. Then the whole thing started. We have a Guru. What do you do with him? Nobody knew one damn thing. How do you worship a Guru? So they were looking in these Mayavadi books, they have these pictures of this big Mayavadi Guru sitting on these big seats, And then they're going, okay, then how we are going? The Guru has to be high up. There's a photo of Prabhupada sitting on a table. Next to him is a flower pot packed with 0.5 kilo incense, because hippies liked incense, to take LSD and, incense was very known. So they just, you don't see Prabhupada, he's like smoked in. You see only the silhouette in this pile of smoke. It's actually a very nice photo. Prabhupada is like in the silhouette there, sitting at the flower pot on a table. He humbly accepted that. And then somebody said, a table, this was not on a photo with the Mayavadis Guru. They don't sit on a table. To be a Vyasa-san. Now, where do you get a Vyasa-san? Nobody knew how, So they started to build Vyasa-sans. The first creation were hilarious. There's a photo, even in the first edition of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada sitting on a Vyasa-san, which was just an accumulation of a most colorful hippie type of cushions. Just cushions, everywhere. And over him, you have a canopy like Arabic sheikhs have, this kind of, a very colorful kind of canopy. And Prabhupada sits there, on a big pile of colorful cushions with this canopy over him like some sheikh. And then there was different ideas. In England, because, if you know a little bit, Indian architecture is Victorian, it's all these churches with these little towers like that, they like this. So they built a Vyasa-san like this. Huge thing, with all these little towers coming out everywhere, like this. There's the photos of this. When Prabhupada saw the Vyasa-san, he was smiling, he was going, oh, this is not for me, this is for Lord Shiva. And the devotees couldn't understand anything, so they put him on a Vyasa-san and they gave him a garland. They knew that already, how to make garland. And the garland slipped from his shoulder and like a Brahmin string. Prabhupada smiled and he said, now I am Lord Shiva. He took it with a great deal of humor. He just appreciated devotion. And the Vyasa-sans were hell. Then it sized down to more reasonable size in Los Angeles. Then you have the polstered thing. But if you think, maybe you notice, you don't see me sitting on a Vyasa-san in a classical posture. Why? Well, my knees don't take it, sorry. How Prabhupada could do it? Even an old man, he was just blip. And he is sitting there, like this, cross-legged. I can do that, but not for long. And he was like, blip. And then he was getting up, blip. Just to see that was like magic, It was like, wow. Old man getting up and down like this, amazing. He had his stick. But still, amazing. So I couldn't copy this. I was just, in a certain age I couldn't do that. Before that, when I was like him, that was easy. I don't see you have any problem to sit like this, isn't it? Just wait. It will come. Just wait. So, this was amazing. Whatever Prabhupada did was so amazing. I described today in the morning, Prabhupada was lecturing and he was going, ladies and gentlemen, Krishna says, in the Bhagavad Gita, he was going, I mean, from this distance, he was pouring water into his mouth, and then he put it down again. I was like, what was that? Waterfall, you know. Everybody was like, whoa. Of course, didn't took long. And devotees tried to copy this. And Prabhupada said, Krishna said, and they took a full shower, you know. It's like, quite... Prabhupada's personality was so all-pervading in a movement I joined that devotees, even unconsciously, they moved like him. When I spoke about him, they were like, that's what Prabhupada did when he spoke. And he had a hair coming out of his ear. And devotees, there was no hair, but it was so, his personality was so all-pervading. Everything was powered by this. If you didn't quote Prabhupada, you had no chance to do anything. And it was misused, of course. Prabhupada was laughing. He said, they always say Prabhupada said Prabhupada. I didn't say that. Because you couldn't get nothing done. And even you would open, some Garga Samhita and start to read from that. Devotees was going, where's Prabhupada? Where's the commentary to that? What is this? What did Prabhupada say? Now, of course, I don't want to get into it. We have devotees who are very learned nowadays. I didn't join a movement full of learned devotees, no. The only thing we knew was Prabhupada ki jai. That was all. And any movement of Prabhupada, and there was no internet, there was no really, you got only the quotes from the representatives of Prabhupada, which were actually treated almost like Prabhupada because we knew Prabhupada sent them. They are representing Prabhupada. Incredible responsibility. And those who qualified represent Prabhupada, they remained. And those who failed to represent Prabhupada, they are gone. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. There's no other logic to me to that as this. I can only sit here and move and talk to you because I know he is here. And if you catch me ever quoting something which is not from Prabhupada, slap me in the face immediately. Don't worry, that's not Vaishnava apparat. That's called constructive criticism. Yeah? So I beg you, please, challenge me, get me. Where do you get that from? Why are you quoting this? And then some devotees come, but I had Prabhupada said in a similar circumstance something else. That's an interesting discussion. Because Prabhupada did according to time, place and circumstances, and the people he talked to, he was also presenting Krishna consciousness on a level they could understand. Yeah. And he was unbelievable. He could understand us 1,000 times more as we could understand ourselves. It was one brahmachari, he came to Prabhupada and he said, Prabhupada, I have doubts. I have doubts. This philosophy and all this, how do I know? I have doubts. What shall I do with it? I don't like it, but I have doubts. Prabhupada smiled and he said, don't worry, we get you married. The brahmachari was shocked. He didn't came for that kind of advice, but that was exactly his problem. Once he was married, he had no doubts. Because he was properly situated. Prabhupada was not wasting time, he was going right away to the point. He answered even the questions before we were able to ask. Sometimes he said something, he was going, why is he speaking about that? Later, they realized, oh, of course, yeah, that was actually the point which I should understand. It was really a heart-to-heart communication. One of my godbrothers on a morning walk, he told Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I read in our books, Krishna is in our heart, is a super soul. Yes. And the guru is also in the heart of a disciple, I heard. Prabhupada said, yes. Then a devotee looked at Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, are you in my heart? It was a very physical understanding, okay? Prabhupada stopped, looked in his eyes, and he said, "If you let me in." Wonderful scene. Because this is how Krishna consciousness works. Krishna is already there. Prabhupada can be there. The question is, do we let him in? Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness ultimately takes place in the heart. Brain, he said, some brain is required, yeah. Little brain is required. But the ultimate decision and the move comes from the heart. And this is what Prabhupada did. He preached to brainless people. The Prabhupada, I have no brain. Prabhupada said, don't worry, this is a brain-giving movement. We will give it to you. And when he was accused in America, Hare Krišna are brainwashing people. Prabhupada said, what are they talking about? Brainwashing what? There is nothing to wash. Prabhupada said, first we give brain, then we wash. Prabhupada, I don't see it this way. Prabhupada said, yeah, because you don't see anything. He said, we operate, come, we operate. We will operate and then you will start to see. It's a fact, even physically. Nowadays it's very easy. It's an operation 10 minutes and you have a new vision. I went recently through this. Quite an interesting experience. I'm driving all the time. I'm living in a car, you know. So I went to the doctor. I said, it's a bit difficult to drive, you know. I see only half of the way. It's a little bit blurry. And they examined my eyes. The doctor flipped out. He said, are you crazy? How can you drive like this? It's all covered here. I said, don't worry, they always move aside, the other ones. You know. He said, this is not jokes. So I got to operate. It's just a question of 10 minutes, you know. And they put some new lens in it. And when I started to see, I was like, whoa, I never saw this before. I could see things like, you know, ornaments and details. Like, devotees were shocked. They said, you can see this? I said, yeah, they just gave me a new eye. Oh. You know, it's very common nowadays to have this kind of problem. Anyway, so Prabhupada gave us the real vision. And when devotees and new devotees sometimes ask, sorry, but I get these questions too, you know. People come to the temple and they go, are you all crazy? Is everybody crazy like this? Sorry, but I get these questions and I get, no, he's nice. Yeah, but he's a little bit funny, isn't it? He's chanting, you know, Hare Krišna, Hare Krišna, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. You know, and people think, what is this? I go, well, look, we are helping people. And our doors are open. And Prabhupada said, this Hare Krishna movement is like a hospital. So who do you think you find in a hospital? Quite sick people. And don't think you are healthy. The difference between devotee and kami is the devotee knows he is sick. The kami doesn't even know it. He thinks he is completely normal. Really. I can give a long lecture about how crazy people are. I have one godbrother, he's established as a big guru, and he writes me sometimes, I feel a little bit uneasy. I sit here all the time, they are washing my feet, they are telling me I'm pure devotee all the time. I'm kind of losing contact with reality, you know. But you are always out there on the street. Can you write me something from the real world? Something horrible. And I go, oh yeah, sure, that's my specialty. So I write him some Kali Yuga apocalyptic thing from reality, what I see. And then he writes me back, oh, now I feel much better, yeah. Now I am more in reality. I mean, sorry, I am not in that league, I don't operate in that level, but I have sometimes really pity upon my god brothers who are gurus. You cannot imagine what these people have to go through. You know, Every guru has his brand of very critical disciples. I don't want to go now into it, but I know it. I'm very close to these God brothers. I saw God brothers being even traumatized by this, going through crisis themselves. Sometimes even the doctors collapse because there's too many sick people. Even the doctors think, oh my God, do I have to do this again? Operating, It's not nice. You get always these people, help, 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 It's not so inspiring, really. And Prabhupada himself was sometimes complaining. He said, don't send me anymore so many crazy people. He wants recommendation from the temple president. There has to be at least able to follow these principles and follow some kind of authority. If they don't do that, then no. Anyway, the theme of initiation, if I would go in detail, probably I would get in trouble. Because Prabhupada clearly defined what that means. He said, initiation is a proof of your sincerity and your determination. If you are not sincere and not determined, then what's the use to get initiated? Chant Hare Krišna, be happy, we are invited, great, but what's the use of that? Anyway, this was Prabhupada, what he told us. So he also struggled, like with this. And always coming troubles, it's a horrible thing. But you have to be very, very strong. And Prabhupada was sometimes like, okay, now I have enough. I go now and I will chant Hare Krišna, I will write books. This is actually what my guru told me. And if you want to do what you are doing, do it, but... And then he came back again. He always came back again. Why? Because he loved us. Even the children were crazy, he loved us anyway. That's a real love. That's like if you are a real parent, The children can go change, they can do crazy things, but the parent is always thinking, it's my child. That was Prabhupada's relationship to us. And I know, I can give you an example from a God brother who joined like that. Prabhupada preached to him and he was a nice boy, but he had too much material attachment. So he said, Prabhupada, this is so nice, and Prabhupada really spent lots of time with him, preaching to him. And he said, Prabhupada, it's nice what you are saying, but I cannot join. No. Still, I have so many desires. I cannot. Prabhupada said, why? It's so precious. Human form of life is so rare. Don't waste your time, please. You are a young man. You have so many options. No. So Prabhupada didn't start to cry. Okay, then go. He left. Somewhere like 1.5 years later, devotees were chanting on the street, Harinam, that was very common. And suddenly out of the crowd comes a boy. And he chants with them, goes immediately to the temple, asks, can you please shave my hair? Joins immediately. And they were like, wow. Not everybody was joining like that so quickly. They asked him, you have no doubts? You have no question? He said, no, shave me up. And they asked, what happened? He said, you don't know. More like 1 year ago, Prabhupada was preaching to me, and I couldn't surrender. For 1 year, I walk around, wherever I go, I see this face, Prabhupada crying. You think I can live like that? That was Prabhupada's preaching. His name, actually initiating him, was Prabhupada's. So, so people joined like this. Prabhupada was the embodied conscience. He awoke our conscience. I knew if I don't join this, and if I don't follow Prabhupada, I will cheat myself and others for the rest of my life. I'll become an artist. Oh, artist, you know. Somebody who knows a little bit my past sent me just as a joke a picture of an Italian artist. Recently, he sold a sculpture for $18,000, which didn't exist. It was an invisible sculpture. And some idiot paid $18,000 for this. He made an exhibition. There was a podest, and then he put the sculpture there. Nobody could see one thing. Somebody bought this for $18,000. I was going, yeah, this is art. This is exactly what I didn't want to do. Cheat people. And I can appreciate, gifted artists, wonderful, especially when he does it for Krishna. But the whole world is full of this kind of people selling either garbage or very harmful things or nothing to people for expensive money. So I was going, no. I want the real thing, the truth. It's not easy in a material world to look for truth. They will force you to cheat. That's the rule of the game. It's all like a show. It's all carnival, out there. I have such a pitisomeness when I distribute, and I see these girls walking around, and they just look beautiful. Come on. Just sold out by the man. What is beauty? They will tell you. What is attractive? They will tell you. And you have to comply. Yes. Actually, what they look for is the beauty of the soul. But it comes in this way out. Highly misunderstood. They think, the beautiful soul body. And then they get frustrated. Well, no wonder. They have poetry on this. You know that? You have a beautiful teeth. Well, just take one. If you like my teeth, just take one. Oh, no. What do you mean? You just said beautiful teeth. You have a hair like silk. You want half a kilo? Please, take it. Come on. Your skin is like velvet. You want a piece? Hey, here. It's amazing, isn't it? You disassemble this whole thing. It's disgusting. But the illusion is so amazing when it's composed like this. They go, that's beautiful. That's a real illusion. Come on. I don't want to go more in detail and be graphical because it gets really unpleasant. You don't give this example when you take prasadam. Not good. But this is what we are carrying around all the time. Sorry, this is what it is. And then you end up in a situation, it's called Grihastha Ashrama. Who will clean the toilet? Huh? Very romantic. The wife goes, come on, you didn't close the lid again. I was Grihastha for a long time. This is very romantic. And the man thinks, what a beautiful girl. Where is she? The beauty is changing. We were playing theatres in this regard, that? Prabhupada loved that piece. Liquid Beauty, you know that one? You never heard about that? This was played on every festival. Liquid Beauty. A prince fell in love with the princess. How beautiful. But she was a devotee. And she was very reserved. But he didn't let it go. And he was prince, coming on a horse. So she said, okay, you can have me. You can enjoy me. Come back in 1 month. In 1 month she was fasting, taking strange liquids. Whatever she was passing and came out, she was kept in jars, nicely stored. So after 1 month, she looked quiet. He couldn't even recognize her. He came in and said, "Where's the princess?" She said, "It's me." "What happened to your beauty?" She said, "I stored it for you in all these pots. Come and look." It was very popular. This was always played, the Liquid Beauty theatre. Prabhupada liked this theatre performance. Pretty graphical, but Prabhupada, that story comes from Prabhupada. It's not invented. He actually said. And there were a few other stories Prabhupada was telling. This was turned into theatre pieces then. Prabhupada liked that. So anyway, so why should we cheat ourselves like this? No, we respect the body. There is a beauty there too. But if it's not powered by spiritual energy, if it's not powered by being connected to Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, we always end up very ugly people. Maya can make you so ugly. In Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada writes in a book, my disciples, being young, they didn't look very beautiful as hippies. Now they are dancing like proud peacocks. Look how beautiful they are. When ladies ask him, can we have some makeup? Prabhupada said, this is the best makeup. But, I don't want to go now in detail, but I managed quite many years, even Matajis in Krishna consciousness, as temple president, as Sankirtan leader. You have to do that. So I remember there was a momentum where our Sankirtan ladies going out distributing books. They went to India and they saw these widows in India, you know, they just have one piece of cloth and they cut like this. And young girls, not old ladies. This was all young brahmacharinis. So they started to copy this. Oh, my GBC called me and said, hey, you are in charge. What are they doing? I said, well, it's practical. It's not so nice, actually. It's to have, every lady knows, to have long hair is a job. You know, you wash it. It's a wet piece of carpet on your head. So anyway, so he said, and then he quoted Prabhupada to me. He said, Prabhupada didn't like that. When the girls start to copy this tyagis, you know, these ladies, Prabhupada said, Krishna likes beautiful gopis, tell them that. You know, that was actually quite popular and well received by the ladies. As a manager of the brahmacharinis, I had to travel to India to buy new and new saris all the time. I'm expert. You know, so it's like, they like that instruction very much. So let's be natural. Let's be normal. We have this body. Let's not deny it. But let's not forget that the real beauty comes by being actually surrendered to Srila Prabhupada, to his mission. And then everybody becomes very, very beautiful. I'm overdoing the time, I think so, isn't it? Why don't you stop me? Huh? You have such a patient management here. I'm used to this, you know, temple president always standing. But when speaking and chanting Srila Prabhupada glories, I can go the whole night, no problem. It's endless. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Damodaraštaka. V mesecu Kartiki je treba častiti gospoda Damodarov in vsak dan recitirati molitev z naslovom Damodaraštaka. Izgovoril jo je modrec Satyavrata in privlači gospoda Damodarov. Ponižno se priklanjam Šri Damodari, vsevišnjemu gospodu, ki je utelešenje večnosti, znanja in blaženosti. Njegovi sijoči uhani nihajo sem ter tja, ter poljubljajo njegova lica. Ko je v Gokuli uprizarjal svoje zvišene zabave, je razbil vrč, v katerem je njegova mati pinila jogurt. Nato pa je iz hrambe ukradel maslo, ki so ga hranili obešenega visoko pod stropom. Zaradi te porednosti je v strahu pred materjo Jašodo urno pobegnil od lesenega možnarja, vendar ga je leta končno le ujela. V strahu pred šibo v materini roki joče in si z lotosovimi ročicama znova manje oči, polne strahu. Okrog vratu, ki ga krasijo 3 črte, da spominja na školjko, nosi biserno grlico, ki se zaradi hitrega dihanja ob njegovem joku trese. Ponižno se priklanjam Šri Damodari, vsevišnjemu gospodu, ki okrog trebuščka ni zvezan z vrvmi, temveč s čisto ljubeznijo svoje matere. Ko prebivalci Gokule opazujejo njegove otroške zabave, se utapljajo v oceanu blaženosti. Tistim, ki jih privlačita njegovo veličastje in obilje, daje vedeti, da ga lahko osvoji le zaupna ljubezen njegovih čistih bakt. Z veliko ljubeznijo in vdanostjo se 100krat in 100krat priklanjam gospodu Damodari. O Gospod, čeprav lahko podariš vse vrste blagoslovov, te ne prosim za brezosebno osvoboditev, niti za najvišjo vrsto odrešitve, večno življenje na Vajkunti. Ne prosim te niti za katerokoli drugo izmed ugodnosti, ki si jih zagotovo s posvečanjem 9 načinom bhakti. O Gospod, želim si le, da se tvoja podoba bele gopale iz Vrindavane zavedno naseli v mojem srcu. Kakšna je korist od kakršnega koli drugega blagoslova? O Gospod, mati Jašoda znova in znova poljublja tvoj lotosov obraz, obdan s kodri mehkih črnih las. Tvoje ustnice pa so rdečkaste kot sadež bimba. Naj ta čudovita podoba tvojega lotosovega obraza zavedno vstopi v moje srce. Na tisoče drugih blagoslovov mi nič ne pomeni. O vsevišnji Gospod, ponižno se ti priklanjam, o Damodara, o Ananta, o Višnu, o Gospodar. O Gospod, bodi zadovoljen z mano. Blagoslovi me svojim milostnim pogledom in odreši tega ubogega nevedneža, potopljenega v ocean materialnega trpljenja. Razodeni se mojim očem. O Gospod Damodara, čeprav te je mati privezala k lesenemu možnarju, si sinova Kuvere, Mangrivo in Nalakuvaro osvobodil narodovega prekletstva in jima podaril čisto vdano služenje. Prosim, tudi meni podari to dragoceno prema bhakti, saj si ne želim nobene druge vrste odrešitve. O Gospod Damodara, naj se najprej priklonim bleščeče sijajni vrvi, ki veže tvoj trebušček, Na to se priklanjam tvojemu trebuščku, v katerem leži celotno vesolje, ponižno se priklanjam tvoji najdražji Šrimati Radharani in tebi, vsevišnjemu Gospodu, ki uprizarjaš neštete zabave. Vsa slava Šrimati Radharani in Damodari, Gospodu Krišni.
Namamishvaram Satchitanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Biyalukala Davamanam Paramishtamatianta Todrutya Gopya Dakshalabhai. Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu Prasida Prabhu Dukkha Jala Vimagna
Hare Krišna, Srila Prabhupada Mahotsav ki sledi Srila Prabhupada Guru Puja, njegov milost Manidhar Prabhu bo nadal arati, potem pa sledi še Anjali, kratek kirtan in prasadam. Tako osmega ure, tako da ljubno vabljeni, da ostanete. Hare Krišna.
I was listening to your... Haribo.
Samo že next level.
Ja, to so meni že sensaja, vse na harmonika.
Ja, svoj.
Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Bando Muistavadana Mate Bando Muistavadana Mate Bando Guru Jahara Prasade Bhai E Bhavato Horiya Jai Jahara Prasade Bhai E Bhavato Horiya Jai Jahara Prasade Bhai Prapti Hoja Hoite Krishna Prapti Hoja Hoite Krishna Prapti Hoja Hoite Krishna Prapti Hoja Guru Mukta Padma Vakya Chitete Goriyakya 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 Arna Kori Homane Asha Kuri Homane Asha Kuri Homane Asha Shri Guru Charani Rati Esse Uttama Gati Shri Guru Charani Charane Rati Esse Uttama Gati Shri Guru Charane Rati Esse Uttama Gati Ve Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Ve Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Je Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Je Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Chokudana Nilo Je Jamne Jamne Prabhu Se 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 Divya Gyan Hride Prokashito Divya Gyan Hride Prokashito Divya Gyan Hride Prokashito Divya Gyan Hride Prokashito Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avidya Vinasha Jate 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 Vede Gaya Hara Charito Vede Gaya Hara Charito Vede Gaya Hara Charito Vede Gaya Hara Charito Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu 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 Lokana Lokera Jivana Lokana Lokera Jivana Krishna Preshnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Krishna Preshnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Guravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Namaste Saraswate Deve Guravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Gora Premanande do we do the
Srila Tirva Mahotsav ki Krishna. Sledi Pushpanjali. Gavovodu and Govinos Manidhar Prabhu. Come here and lead the Pushpanjali. Pushpanjali. Yes, the prayers to each. Just to read, no, just to read. Yes, the meaning and the.
So this is called Pushpanjali for those who still don't know. And there are prayers offered along with flowers. And the flowers means 3 times they will be thrown. So this is not like for once. You divide it into 3 times. And then every time you hear this Pushpanjali, then you can throw. You know, try to throw it on Srila Prabhupada. Of course, to decorate the Vaishnavas is also okay, but the major thing is Srila Prabhupada.
More at the feet than in his face. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmae Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahya Dadati Sva Padantikam Vandeham Shiguro Shivitapada Kamalam Shigurun Vaishnavamsha Shirupam Sagrajatam Saghaganam Raghunatatan Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shivishakam Vitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Sarasvati Namine Shivarshabhana Videvi Jayataya Kripabhadya Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daina Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jala Premadya Shirupanuga Bhaktida Shiguru Karuna Gora Karuna Shakti Brigahaya Namostute Namaste Goravani Shimurtaye Dinatarine Virupanuga Virudapasiddhanta Vantaharine Namo Gora Kishoraya Sakshat Viragya Murtaye Pralamba Rasambode Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gora Shakti Svarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gora Virbhava Bhumestvam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarva Bhauma Shri Jagannataya Te Namaha Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tvisha Namaha Panchatattvamakam Krishna Bhaktarupa Svarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikyam Jayatam Surata Pangor Mamamanda Matergati Mat Sarvasva Padambojau Radhamadana Mohana Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshvari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Shapunjali Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Pushpanjali Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Shapushpanjali
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Sutra Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Sutra Srimati His Divine Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anata Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai. ISKCON Guru, ISKCON BBT Fondiracharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se koho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Yamakund Radha Kund Gir Govardhana ki jai. Mathura Bindama Dama ki jai. Navadip Maya Pudama ki jai. Ganga Maya Muna Maya ki jai. Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Prem se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadara Shivasati Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. All glory to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories Shri Guru Gauranga. Sarira Vidyajal Jyotindriya Tekal Jivipile Visa Sagare Dharma Jivati Lobamaya Sudurmati Dakitaja Kutina Samsare Krishna Boradora Moi Koribara Jivajoy Svaprasada Nilobai Senrita Pao Radha Krishna Gunagao Premida Ko Chaitanya Nitai Srila Prabhupada Mahaprasadam Ki Jai.
Drugi del praznovanja njegovega puče, ki bo malo bolj kulturno obarvan, tako da ljudno vabljeni. Ne pozabite, danes se ura predstavi. 1 uro nazaj. Pomeni 1 uro več spanja.
Ne, 1 uro več mantranja.
Več mantranja. Tako da jutrni program bo že po novi uri. Hare Krišna. Srila Prabhupada, Tira Baba Mahotsava ki Jai, Gavanam Puja Mahotsava ki Jai, Gavu Pramande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krišna. Hare
Hare